gonna get started with the recording for this. All right, here we are, May 21st. I don't even know what day it is of self-isolation. I know things here in Ontario are starting to open or have started opening this week, which is very exciting. I know a lot of businesses that are going back into business, which is also very, very exciting. I think it was due. Not only that, the weather is better. So yeah, sunshine all around. So today I want to start talking about a couple things, and I'm going to start sharing my screen so that I can talk to you guys about this. Here we go. So a little bit of old news. I don't know if you guys know, but Facebook actually have messenger rooms right now. They're basically trying to compete with Zoom. I haven't tried them out yet, but word on the street is that it's pretty cool. You can actually create a messenger room, add a ton of people in there, and chat. Now, something that we know about social media platforms is, of course, especially Facebook, they emulate a lot of the different successes that other companies have, right? For example, let me give you an example. Snapchat had stories or something similar to stories long before Instagram did. So obviously they introduced that to Instagram, they introduced that to Facebook. Now, YouTube was the main thing for videos. Now, of course, Facebook has a fairly big platform where you can actually do watch parties and a bunch of stuff with video. So it was not surprising to see that Facebook is actually going after Zoom now. And yeah, I don't know if any of you have tried it out yet, but I think it's worth a try. As you guys can see here, you can support up to 50 people. That's 50, which is great. And yeah, hopefully some of you have tried it or will try it soon. Zoom. We'll try it soon, not try Zoom. I still think that, in my personal opinion, I still think that Zoom has a very big market share, especially when it comes to more business like events and such. And obviously, I think Facebook's target market is going to be a little bit more about family and friends, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And something else that's huge that just came out yesterday, I'm going to stick on the Facebook theme. Facebook now has their shops. So basically, Facebook has created a platform so that small businesses can sell their products online. Now, the reason this is huge is because now Facebook means that if you sell products online, you're able, instead of maybe putting an ad and then sending them to your website, you're actually able to upload all your products and have the entire transaction go through Facebook itself, Facebook or Instagram, by the way. So any products that you have, and as you guys can see, this literally just came out May 19th, a couple days ago. So any products that you guys have or that you're selling online, or maybe that you're thinking of selling online, this could be a great way to actually get started, right? You don't really need a store. You don't need, an e-commerce, right? A site. You can just load everything up on Facebook, load the information, and sell directly from there. I know firsthand, I think it's a feature that has been on Facebook, that a lot of users from e-commerce have been asking Facebook for, and they finally did it. Now, having said that, and again, as usual, we'll send you guys the links to the article so you guys can take a look at it. When it comes to integrations of payments, from what I understand, they're still working through it. And I think, here it is, right? So I think the whole checkout is only for the US right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of weeks they start adding other countries through integrations with different platforms like Stripe or so, right? Or maybe it's already going. But yeah, that's sort of a little quick update for today. Again, I think this whole idea of Facebook Shops is immensely, it's so big based on the 2.6 billion users that Facebook has. Could be a great opportunity for those of you that are selling products online to get there. And something else I'm going to mention, as we know, this is complete speculation, my own hypothesis, based on history. When Facebook rolls out something new, they really want to push it out, which means that advertising may be a little bit cheaper for a Facebook shop right now than in other avenues. So keep that in mind. I know we have 2 customers that I was actually thinking about putting through these, setting up shops for them and testing it out to see what happens. So I'll definitely keep you guys posted. And yeah, those are the 2 sort of little updates that I had for you guys from the social media side. I don't know, do you guys have any questions about that? Feel free to unmute yourselves if you do, as you guys know.
Question.
Yes.
Hey,
Oh, hi, Kelly. I was like, wait, I know that voice.
So as you know, I've opened up my jewelry side of my business, because I have, so much free time. And I've created my Facebook business page, and I've dropped in a lot of products in the product side of the business page. So would this be applicable for that then, once it's released in Canada, that people can actually then click on the product and then order it through?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This would be an actual great timing, by the way, on your new adventure. Yeah, it's definitely something. It's going to definitely be something to look at, and I think yeah, I'm actually excited to get, like, again, this news literally just came 2 days ago. Probably early next week, we're gonna try to experiment with it ourselves to see what's gonna come up. And see how we can set them up and see how it looks. But yeah, I think this is a very, very big step in the e-commerce world. Facebook's trying to take a little bit of a chunk out of Amazon, so we'll see. But yeah, to answer your question, absolutely, this is something to definitely look for. We can probably take this convo offline. Well, online, offline, out of this webinar. I meant by offline. Where yeah, I'll let you know early next week how we do with setting up when we start experimenting it, and then we can I'll let you know how it went and what's involved and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm super excited about this, by the way, if you guys haven't noticed. Hope that answered your question, Kelly.
It did, thank you.
Awesome, cool. Anything else from this particular side of things? And by the way, I'm looking at the side because I can see the chats. Oh, somebody else coming in. Okay, cool. So I'm going to stop sharing. That was a little news, well, little big news that I had for today, little in terms of the time that we take to share news with you. And now we open the floor. And yeah, you guys, how's this week treating you? What's going on? What can I help you with?
So I have a question, if no one else will ask.
Please, go for it.
So for a relatively small business, and knowing that social media is a great way to create followers and engage customers, do you have anything that you could share around a posting type schedule, and whether it's a product post versus an organic post in the moment versus something else for a small business to follow?
Yes, of course. So let me pull it up. I'll show you exactly what we do. We did this 3 weeks ago, I think. So if you want more details, I actually think we spent about 25 minutes explaining it. But let me show you exactly what we actually do. Here it is. Let me just make sure it's the right template. There we go. I'm going to share my screen again. I definitely need Jeopardy music in our system here. And I hope that song stays with all of you for the rest of the day. You're welcome. Here we go. Okay, cool. So, so I'm gonna go through the process that we actually go through here when we create content for our customers. Basically, we base everything on a framework of 10-4-1, and some of you have heard me talk about this before. It's not something I created. It's actually something that that Kurt, one of my mentors from Black Hat. Oh my God, no, the Belt Method. Sorry, totally different topic. From the Belt Method, actually sort of created. So basically, what we're talking about is that every single post should have a goal, and the goal can be divided in 3 different categories: either to engage people, engage/entertain, to inform people, or a promotional post, right? So this is where all our own process starts. Our own process starts right here. And you guys can see my screen, right? Yeah, okay, cool. So we decide what the goal is, and the template of 10-4-1 means that for every 15 posts, 10 we do to engage people, 4 to inform people, and 1 to promote the product or service we're doing, right? Now, this is a guideline. Of course, things change a little bit, and so, for example, for you and for your industry, Kelly, I know we do a little bit more informational because that is just the nature of your business. We have, for example, an e-commerce brand that we work with that is in the pet care industry, and we do a little bit more engagement with them because that's the goal. That's a part of a campaign we're in right now, right? We're trying to engage people, for people to like, and of course, everybody loves pictures or videos of dogs and kittens, right? So yeah, anyways, so the 10-4-1 is 10 engagement, 4 informational, 1 promotional. And basically we have this spreadsheet, and we can send the copy again to everybody. And we choose the platform that we're gonna go. We choose whether it's informational. We choose the type of content we're going to create. So for example, say I wanna talk about with a blog post. Say I create a new blog post. The goal is to inform people, right? Obviously, the type of post now, what we're going to do is, where is it? Here. Maybe the blog post is a how-to. How to brush your teeth while we're in physical isolation, right? Again, I'm just pulling this out here. I can put the topic here, and I can actually put the wording that will go on my post. And basically what we do is we build out, based on your time, it will depend, but for us, we build out, a few weeks ahead, and we go ahead and we fill this entire thing out. And that gives us a framework and a calendar of what kind of content we need, when we need it, and to evaluate or make sure that we're following the guideline of our 10-4-1. So we'll definitely share this this link again. It's a Google Sheet that you guys can copy. We'll definitely share it in the follow-up email that we usually send after this session. Does that answer your question, Kelly?
It does, yes. And just for a question from a referral perspective.
Yes, ma'am.
When you're dealing with businesses that are smaller in size, right, that are just getting started out, and want to start doing this on their own, but eventually get to a point where somebody else is doing it for them, like you, do you have services or programs for smaller business types that they don't have a massive budget for this, but could definitely use the leverage?
The best program we have for that is a training program. So I have a 5-hour block where I go basically in a lot of detail on how this goes. And what I find is usually we do 1 hour each week. The first hour is to make sure that all the accounts are set up, introduction to tools. Second hour, we go through a little bit of the content, how we come up with the content, the types of content, the tools that you can use to create that content. And then usually what ends up happening is we do 2 weeks, and after that we do half an hour each until we finish the 5 hours. And I find if there's a dedicated person that is familiar just as a user with social media platforms, they can transition fairly easily into start creating the content themselves. The biggest thing here, and by the way, that's a perfect entry for somebody that's a small business that's just starting, and that's looking to, that has the time at that particular point to be able to do this themselves. The caveat with this, is it pronounced caveat? Yeah. You know, I have issues with pronunciation of certain words. The thing with this is that, of course, it requires consistency, and it requires a little bit of planning, and requires putting time aside. What I notice is usually when people don't have this is when the training obviously doesn't work. But generally speaking, if all that is set up, the expectation is set up in terms of the amount of time that needs to be spent, then yeah, a training package for a starter small business is definitely something that I would love to talk to people about. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely. And then once they get to a point where they don't have time.
That's exactly, or they realize, so something that happened with a customer of ours, did the whole training, they ran it for about a month and a half, and they were doing a fairly good job. They realized it was just more work, and their time was better spent in different areas, right? So at that point, we transitioned into us taking it over.
Okay, and what would be the starting investment once you take it over?
That's a great question. You know what? Usually, I rather discuss prices one-on-one, just because it could vary on the type of industry it is, the amount of work we're going to need to do, the resources that you'll have on your back end. So, say for example, another example, working with another client in the e-commerce space, in the fitness space, but he already has a team of people that actually do film, do editing of videos. So obviously our effort is going to be less, and our time is going to be less than if it's somebody that where we're going and shooting film ourselves, editing ourselves, and creating that content ourselves, right? So if you have something in mind or somebody in mind that you think, I would be more than happy to sit down, have a chat, and come up with what would be the best solution for that company at that particular point in time.
Thank you.
Got it. Thank you for those questions. All right, guys, floor is open. And I see Ben is back.
Efren, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, of course.
Oh.
Can I don't think you can hear us though. Oh, the beauties of technology. Oh, that's it. He didn't want to hear us. All right, cool. So yeah, guys, as most of you know that are on the call right now, you've been with us for a little bit at least. The floor is all yours. What can we do to help you? What struggles or challenges or opportunities have presented to you this week in the digital marketing space that we can assist with today? All of you, please don't talk at the same time. Don't make me start putting people on the spot.
I'll just keep asking questions if nobody else will.
Of course, please.
I have a question now that I'm back.
Oh, there you go. Ben is back. Awesome. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, I got booted out. Yeah, so I sent you some questions ahead of time there. I don't know if you were able to find any answers, but to everybody that didn't know, I was just curious. Speaking of Facebook and posting and all that stuff, when it comes to different types of video posts, like Lori's lives or Angie's calls, or the educational little pieces that I'm doing, and now I'm going to get into sending out an actual like clip advertisement, like a paid ad on Facebook, Instagram. Are there any standard recommendations as far as a length of time, just for best engagements on each platform? I'm sure they all have their best practices kind of thing, or not even just best practice, but in your experience, what's been best for capturing engagement versus another objective?
Yep. So I'm going to give you sort of the standard best practice. I hate to do this, but I know rather that a lot of the answers that I gave when it comes to social media is let's test it out, right?
Right.
Let's see what works. So I'm going to give you I have it written down here, so I'm going to read sort of the best practices, if you will. But having said that, of course, I think we all need to test with different lengths of time, and we also have to see what the purpose of the video is, right? So say, for example, in your case, Ben, I'm trying to think of something. So say you do your educational moment. Actually, let's go with the hiring process, right?
Mm. Well, that's a good example, because right now, just before you get started, like I'm thinking about doing a little video, just a little clip about basically more on the recruiting side. So finding people who might be interested in doing the business. And I'm going to push that out as just a video of me talking, as opposed to my other series of videos where I'm actually teaching on a subject.
Right. So that's actually a perfect example. So say you're talking about recruiting, right?
Yep.
And you go on camera, and by the way, I don't know if this is actually true for your industry or not, so I'm just gonna pretend here. So yeah, my video is no representation of benjacobs.ca. So say you go on the camera and say, hey guys, if you're interested in a new career, hit me up, right? That's what maybe 5-8 seconds. Right? So that's one type of video. Now, what if you went for maybe, I don't know, 15-20 minutes and you actually started talking? You know, if you work with me, these are the different avenues that you actually have. This is how you can help people. Here, let me give you an example. So I had this client X, that came to me with this issue, and my team and I were able to go in, do a customized solution, and you actually talk for 10-15 minutes. Now, your key is going to be in that point on your retargeting, right? So if you do a 10-second video and somebody watches half of that, how interested can they be? If you do a 15-minute video and somebody watches half of that, how warm will that lead be, right? So if I sit there and talk and watch your video, you're explaining your process of how beneficial it would be to work with your team, and I watch more than half of it, I'm sold on what you're actually telling me, right? If it's a 15-minute video. If it's only a 10-15 second clip, you know, did I just forget my Facebook feed on the screen at that moment? And I know those are two extremes, but obviously the point I'm trying to get at is on your retargeting of that video, you can actually start already filtering sort of the lowest hanging fruit. If I watch at least half of a 15-minute video on Facebook, that probably means that I'm really interested, right? So that probably means that I'm somebody you want to talk to right away. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
So now within that, let me give you what excuse me, what we think are sort of best practices, right? Excuse me for a second. So yeah, let's start with Instagram. And again, I'm just going to read this because I have it in my notes. And by the way, thank you for sending that question beforehand, because it gave us a little bit of time to actually write it down. For Instagram Live, obviously, as you know, your 60 minutes is your max, right? For your feed videos, your Instagram feed, you're looking at 3 seconds to 1 minute. Having said that, videos that are usually 26 to 30 seconds in Instagram, statistically speaking, seem to be the ones that actually get more engagement.
Was that between 20 and 30 seconds?
Between 25 and 30 seconds. Okay. Where was I? Yes, so that was on my feed. For stories, of course, 15-second max is sort of like a quick hit. And for IGTV, and as you guys know, and probably Lori knows more than anybody than this, for IGTV, you can do from 60 seconds to an hour, right? Moving on to Facebook. For Facebook, your live, you can do up to 8 hours, which is a lot to be live. For your Facebook feed, you can do 2 hours max. 360 video on Facebook is less than 40 minutes. And for Facebook, statistically speaking, videos that are from 45 seconds to 2 minutes, they consider it quote unquote the ideal length, right? Having said that, for Facebook Live, they say that videos that are 20 minutes or more create the more engagement, right? And that makes sense, because if you're on a live video, if you're there for 5 minutes, it doesn't give people time to join, right? So if I'm scrolling through my feed and chances are, if you're just in a very particular, in a very short period of time, you're doing your live video, if I go through my feed, I may not have time to join because I may not be within that 5 minutes. So usually for live, statistically speaking, again, 20 minutes or longer, just allow more people to join in at different points of the video. And that is going to create a little bit more engagement. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, I have YouTube as well, but it's even still like I don't know if it's any different for YouTube, because YouTube, there's so many different types of videos you could have there, right? So
yeah, again, something that I'm going to go out, and I do this a lot, is go out of the platform and start thinking about what is your goal and what is it that you want to create, right?
mm-hmm.
What is the goal of that video? How are we going to retarget? And then base your numbers on that. So the cool thing about all these platforms, and something that we as marketers or as business owners, when we advertise in these platforms, something that we discount a lot of times is how much information Facebook or Instagram or YouTube have on their back end in terms of data. You guys know, all of you know, that I talk about these platforms as data machines. They're keeping data, and to a certain extent, they know better, right? So I like to think about, you know what, if I'm going to put a 10-minute video out there, if I'm going to put a 5-minute video out there, and I'm going to put money behind it, let Facebook sort of figure out what it is. They're going to start choosing the people that they think will watch or will be more interested or will be able to connect more with your content, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes what we do, we restrict that a little bit. I know we talked about that a few weeks back in terms of we restrict our audience, thinking that the more granular we get, the better it is. And I'm going to go a little bit contrary to that. I think the bigger of a pool we have, the more we actually let Facebook's and Facebook multi-billion-dollar AI machine work its magic.
Right.
And again, I mean, I say Facebook, but of course I mean YouTube and Instagram as well, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I hope that gave you a little bit of an answer to that question.
Yeah, it did, man. I mean, the ranges are great, and it was more that ideal length, or what the stats show about the most engagement versus for each type of video that really helps. But like you said, it all comes back down. I'm still going to film multiple versions and do A/B testing, right? Or ABCD testing. Who knows? Like,
and if you're going for engagement, sorry about that. Apparently, I'm still going through puberty. If you're going for engagement, again, your Facebook videos, 45 seconds to 2 minutes, statistically speaking, and Instagram, 26 to 30 seconds for the feed, right? If engagement is the goal, then yeah, definitely go for that.
Cool. Appreciate that, man.
You got it. All right.
That was very insightful.
Oh, thank you.
Because it's not the same across every platform.
No.
Because they're different users, different audiences on all of these platforms. Like, that was so insightful. Thank you.
That's it. And usually what you're going to see, sometimes YouTube, a little bit longer videos work out better. And again, taking the platforms out, right? Some people that have cut the cord, the cable cord, literally use YouTube. And they're usually longer programs, longer shows, longer everything. So sometimes the format itself, a bit of longer format will work on YouTube. Excuse me. But yeah, that's that. I think you hit the nail on the head, Lori, in the sense that demographics are different, people are different, and the way the platforms are different as well, right?
Mm-hmm. And I also like that you have understood and picked up on the fact that Instagram made a change. That now they've been listening to everybody, me being one of them, who's been complaining about the inability to take a live and suck it right into IGTV.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, I did my live and it gave me extra options. So I'm looking for, where's the download? Where's the download? But then I saw immediately post to IGTV. I was like, oh. So I was done the whole process in seconds. It was brilliant.
Amazing.
It was, I just,
I think the evolution of the platforms, again, because for the last couple of months, all of us have been using this a little bit heavier.
Mhm.
And you have new users that come maybe with a fresh mind, right? Sometimes when we use a platform over and over, you get used to certain things. And when you have people that have not done it, for example, Lori, for example, you started using it very heavily. You're like, oh my God, maybe this is what I actually need, right? And yeah, I'm happy they're responding to that. I'm pretty sure a lot of people pushed Facebook, for example, to create Facebook shops, right? And they responded to that. They saw an opportunity. If I'm chatting with with my mom or with my uncle on the other side of the world through Messenger, why can't I bring my mom in, and why can't I bring my sister in, right? So let's create a group now. Yeah, I'm excited to see the evolution of a lot of these platforms coming out of this. All right. So what else we got today? Let's see, Mr. Randy. I don't
How
know
are
if,
you,
oh no,
Efren?
I thought you were frozen there for a second.
Yeah, yeah, it's just a picture of me. How
I
are you
was in a,
doing?
I'm doing fantastic, sir. Yourself?
Good. I'm doing well. I'm doing very well.
I was
Today I'm
actually.
going to be.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say today I'm going to be doing my very first virtual tour.
Yeah,
And
nice.
I wanted to hear if you had any suggestions, recommendations for that. I hear you talking about length. I'm going to be walking through one of our properties, kind of from the outside, going in, walking through everything, explaining it all. So it's probably going to be like a 20-minute. And then I'm also going to have a bunch of people are going to be online on Zoom, able to ask questions and that kind of thing. Any suggestions about what to do with that video afterwards?
Is this
Yeah, go ahead.
so? Sorry. So you're going live, right? You're not pre-recording it and then putting it live?
No, I'm going to be. I guess the right word would be live. It's a Zoom meeting, so I've
Okay.
got a number of people booked for a Zoom meeting. I'm hoping to be able to figure that out on my phone.
So,
I'm sure it can't be that difficult. Yeah. So
but you're not going on Facebook, right?
it's going to be on Zoom, and then I'm wondering, what can I do with that content afterwards? Should I be putting it on Facebook? Should I be putting it on Instagram? Should I keep it to 5 minutes? Should I let it go longer?
I think because it's a virtual tour, I think people are going to be wanting to see the entire house, right? So cutting it short may not be the wisest thing to do, in my opinion. I think you have to go through as if I was looking at the house with you,
Mm-hmm.
and you're literally showing me everything. So these are the cabinets, right? And this is the cool accent that's on the trim. And if location is an important thing, I would even go to the extent of go outside and be like, oh look, the school is right there, right? Or it's a quiet street. Hopefully it'll be quiet at that moment. Otherwise, the good old, this never happens, I swear. So the same features that you would highlight if somebody was there with you, I think
Mhm.
you need to recreate that in the virtual world, right?
Okay.
And if that is going to take half an hour, then it's going to take half an hour. In terms of length, right? Like I wouldn't
Yep.
be that concerned about the length, but more from the technical perspective. Couple things here. Is somebody from your office or from your team going to be on the Zoom meeting so they can record it?
No, it's just going to be me.
Okay.
Can
What
I
time
not
is it at?
Can I not record it? It'll be at 5.
I'm not sure. Can you record online? Sorry, on a mobile device? I haven't tried. to be honest with you.
I was hoping I was going to be able to. But I guess part of my question is, like, I can make it shorter or longer, right? Like, I was thinking about letting people be able to speak as I'm walking through. So if they can say, hey, can you go back into the bathroom for a second? I didn't get a chance to see the bathtub. You know, I can go back and I can show shots of the bathtub. I was trying to make it a little bit interactive. So like I could cut that off. I could mute everybody and say, okay, I'm going to walk through the property. And then after I'm done walking through the property, you can feel free to ask any questions that you want. What I was thinking is engaging it, involving them, make it interactive. And then once I'm done the tour, offer to answer any questions. So
How many, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I can cut it off after the tour's done. I can cut it off after all the Q&A is done. What advice do you have? I've got a little bit of control over how long I make it.
What is, how many people are going to be there?
I think we've got about 10 people.
Okay. The only concern I have is that if you, I love, by the way, the idea of making interactive. The only concern I have is that if you have 10 people asking, oh, I wasn't able to see the door. And suddenly something happens, somebody's looking at something, I was like, oh, can you please go back to that room, right? That you're going to be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? So that would be my only concern, not necessarily because of the length of the video, but more so of the interaction and the experience that we're going to have. Why don't you start taking questions like the ones you're thinking of doing and making it interactive. And obviously if it gets, sorry, let me just lower this. And if it obviously gets too much, then you can be like, guys, you know what? Maybe let me finish through the whole thing and we'll just take the questions at the end. Right? But again, I wouldn't be too concerned about the length itself. Unless, of course, you have 10 people going like, oh, I didn't see that door. And then another person, oh, I didn't see that door, right? Because then just from an interaction, from experience perspective, for those people that have been paying attention, which are probably going to be the people that are most interested in the property, it's not going to be as good for them as an experience, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a couple things. First of all, for the recording, hold on. We actually have an answer for that. Hold on a second. Yes, you can record from your Android, from your phone. So you're good there.
Okay.
The second thing I was going to mention is I would show up a few minutes earlier. Actually, I would even do it like now if you can. Run a Zoom meeting off your phone. Make sure you know where to record it. Make sure you have the camera so it's facing the other way, right? So you're not walking like this, showing things around, and people are just seeing your expressions. So yeah, I would make sure that I do all of that beforehand, so that you're not taking time out of the Zoom to figure those things out.
Okay. And is that the best way to do it, Efren, is to have the camera not looking at me, but looking ahead of me?
What phone do you have again?
It's an Android. I've done a few videos for Bailey, and I have not been able to figure out how to switch it from front camera to back camera.
You haven't been able to figure out how to switch. Sorry, I was just looking at Bailey here. You haven't been able to figure out how to switch it from
the front to the back, or vice versa. Yeah, from the front to the back. I did a video of 29 West and sent it to Bailey, and it was literally 2 videos.
Okay.
One was me talking, and then the rest of it was the actual tour. I couldn't figure out how to switch it.
What type of phone is it, Randy?
It's a Pixel 2, Android.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna find information and send you information on how to switch it, and
Cool.
So you can test it out.
Cool, thank you.
But yeah, ideally speaking, probably this way. Actually, no. Would we do horizontal, yeah, this is the way I would record it. Oops, like this, right? Because then you'll
Okay.
be able to see on your own camera what it is that you're seeing,
Right.
right? Because if you do this, you can't see what you're recording, right? So we'll definitely figure out how to switch, and we'll send it to you as soon as we find the information. But yeah, I'll record it wide. Oh, Lori, there you go. Yeah, that's right. Lori, you did a live on this. Oh, is she saying hi to us? No?
Sorry, I was actually saying that I have to cut out. I'm really sorry.
Oh,
But
that's okay.
yeah, that's something, now that you've got me on, I was worried about the being able to save the recording part was big for me, but definitely doing it horizontal is way better for Zoom. And yeah, I don't know if I have any tips for you. I'm not sure. I haven't done a Zoom on my phone because I know that the desktop version has so many more controls as far as you being able to mute the guests and unmute the guests. I'm not sure if you get that option. And I think that was a great tip that you gave, Efren, about maybe going there early and doing a little trial so that you can see, can you flip your camera mid process? I know that you can also stream to YouTube and stream to
You can stream to Facebook.
Facebook. Yeah, you can stream to both of those applications. So
You know what? I'm actually right now on my phone. I'm trying to join this Zoom. But thank you for that, Lori. Appreciate it. I know you gotta go. I know you have big call at 2. Did Lori freeze? Did I freeze? Oh, Lori,
Lori's
I think
frozen.
I think Lori froze. Okay, cool. She left. Awesome. So I'm trying to log into this Zoom right now through my phone to see what options we would have. But yeah, we'll definitely get back on those 2 things for you, Randy, in the next little bit. We're researching right now.
Okay, I appreciate that, Efren. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Of course. All right, guys. Mr. Luigi, all quiet there. Oh, you have somebody in the back. Ah, I understand. Do you have any questions? Anything we can help you with? Oh, you do have a question on the chat. Awesome. Oh, got it. Actually, you know what? Here it is. Do you mind if I read the question out loud? Okay, cool. So Luigi's asking, when somebody watches a video feed ad on Instagram or Facebook, as you know, the user may have their default set to silent. If the user sound is off, do reports recognize if the sound was on or off, which would make it more difficult to see if people are engaged or not with shorter videos? Hope that makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. So to that effect, first of all, I actually don't know if the stats recognize whether the video was on or off. That's a great question. I'll have to look it up. To be honest with you, I've never spliced it like that. But within that, that's why I always recommend, and I know I've told Ben, and Lori before as well. Make sure you have your closed caption, because a lot of people don't have their sound on. I don't have my sound on, right? And I like to read. Like if you put a video of a how-to or an article, I'll actually read the article. That's just how I learn or how my brain is wired. So sometimes even in videos, I'll go through the closed caption of what they're saying instead of unmuting, right? Do reports recognize? I'll have to find that out. Yes, and that absolutely would make it harder to see if people are engaged with the video or not. But I think if we put the closed caption, and if somebody's there for 50% of a 10-minute video, you're probably on the safe side knowing that they're actually engaged with the video. Something interesting about Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, I can't pronounce his last name, came out, I think it was a year and a half ago, when they were really pushing, it was starting, the whole video thing on Facebook was starting. And they said that their AI machine can recognize what a video is about. I think it's within 5 seconds of the video. So Facebook knows what your video is about, and that's how they're able to determine who they're going to show it to. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. Anyways, Luigi, can you do me a favor? Can you look that way? Oh, it was worth a try. There you go. Look at that. Looks good, man. Looks good. Anyways, yeah. Any other questions, guys, that you may have today before we call it a day? No, nothing pops up. Okay, well, you know what? I don't want to keep any of you longer because it's such a beautiful afternoon. Randy probably has another 10 acres of tomatoes to plant or something. But yeah, once again, Randy will get back to you. Bailey's literally researching that. We'll probably do a couple tests and we'll get back to you on what to do. I may actually give you a call later on as soon as we find out. But for everybody else, again, thank you so much for joining. May 21st, things are opening up, sun is shining, weather's better. Hope everybody stays safe, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to see you all next week. Thank you again. We'll talk soon. Cheers.